Good morning, traders. This is your daily market breakdown on the GBP USD. We can see that we have been trending aggressively into the downside, and price has now entered into this weekly demand zone, and we are beginning to see quite an aggressive reaction to this demand zone. On the 4-hour frame, we're beginning to see more higher lows being produced and higher highs and multiple more breaks of structures into the upside. What I'm actually looking for at the moment are these long positions on the lower time frames. I'm trying to trade that pullback and hopefully will eventually turn into a trend reversal back into the upside. So at this point in time, I'm just waiting to see what happens with this trade on the lower time frame. I'm expecting it to push up here and have a bit of reaction to this resistance ceiling over here before then pushing down again. Then I'll reanalyze the markets. But the most important part is that it must hold this area here. If we see the price breach this previous low, then we may see that continuation into the downside, and then I will be looking for those shorting opportunities. Similarly with the Euro USD, we have been just trending down aggressively over the last couple of days and weeks. We are now, because it has entered into that weekly demand zone, we are beginning to see that reaction and that push back into the upside. We can confirm this with multiple breaks of structure into that upside. And if you were lucky enough to have got into the market at this tap in zone, then congratulations, you would have TP'd as well, which is fantastic. So at this point in time, I'm actually just waiting, although I could do a very similar setup that I've done with the GBP USD, where I'll take a long position and try and target this resistance ceiling just up here. But similarly, if the price fails and it breaks this previous low, then we will likely then continue into the downside, and then I will be changing my analysis into shorting opportunities on the euro dollar. Heading over to the USD JPY, what's very interesting here is that this huge yellow zone up here is a very, very strong area of resistance. And we can actually see at this point in time, the Japanese yen struggling to breach above or breach into that resistance level. And we're just seeing this huge reaction at the moment. And we can see that the market has come up, it pushed down, it broke market structure, although it was a weak break. So it's a weak break. It came up again, it grabbed liquidity, confirmed by this price action candle here. And now all I'm waiting, I'm not really looking to enter into any positions here. If I were to look for positions, they would likely be shorting positions. I think that because of that strong ceiling of resistance, and there's just so much rejection from the upside, that we are likely going to see the price start to reverse in trend and begin pushing down toward these potential liquidity zones. Like I said, I'm still waiting for this market to reveal itself a little bit better. There's just all this consolidation and these really sharp moves into either direction, and this is a little bit of a rocky market, especially in prop trading, because when we put our stop loss, we can quite easily be stopped out very quickly, even though it does eventually go to our TP. So I think that we could be seeing the early signs of a trend reversal on the USD JPY, but it just needs further analysis in order to confirm that. DXY has played beautifully into our technicals now. We're starting to get back on track a little bit here, where, yes, we have been surging into the upside quite aggressively. We saw a beautiful breaker structure here, a continuation into that upside, and we formed a high at this point. And then what happened is we came up, the price came down, and then it tried to re-break that previous high. So you can see here, I've put a fainted graphic here. It tried to break this previous high and it failed, but instead it pushed down, breaking market structure. This is a very strong bit of confirmation that the market now wants to continue into the downside, and a trend reversal is potentially about to happen. And so we can see it came up, came down, came up again, failed to breach that previous high. It pushed down, breaking market structure. It then came up again, really failed to create a new higher high, and again failed, creating a very strong breaker structure into the downside. So at this point in time, and this plays very nicely into our major currency pairs, and this is why I'm looking for those long positions on the euro dollar and the and the British pound, because what could happen is that the price comes back up to about this point here and then continues into the downside toward this potential demand zone. So I'm now looking for those shorting opportunities because of this structure that has happened up here. But again, of course, this is really prone to change, especially with the geopolitical issues that are occurring. Heading over to XAU, I mean, we have just been in a downtrend since March, and I don't see it slowing down. I don't see it. I think we're currently at a stage where XAU could be seeing the early signs also of a trend reversal, because if we zoom out to the week, we are technically in an uptrend, and we have now entered into a very strong weekly demand zone. You can see that there. Let me zoom back into the 4-hourly frame. So at this point in time, yes, we got some breaks of structure here, but we are having that initial reaction to this demand zone. We are now producing higher highs and higher lows. What I'm waiting for at the moment is the price to come back down, hopefully. Hopefully we'll see this key line get broken back into this new potential tap in. And then I would be looking for a position, something such as this, targeting that potential TP location, targeting this take profit location from that long position. That is all I'm looking for at the moment. If you have also analyzed on the lower frames that we are going to continue down, then actually taking a position such as this wouldn't be such a bad idea either. Right, because I'm expecting the price to return to this zone anyway in order to take that long position. And so because we are trending into the downside, we are seeing a beautiful price action candle here. We could now see that potential shorting opportunity play out as well throughout today and maybe into tomorrow. BTC USDT, again, you guys don't want to hear this, but based on this technical analysis, we are going to likely continue seeing a downtrend. Very upsetting, really. We have just fallen off that cliff. We have just been breaking so much structure into the downside. From last Thursday or Friday, we expect, or we analyzed the price to come up to this level 1 region. Obviously, it just fell short of that before pushing down, breaking market structure. And what we analyzed is that the market may now continue down to the 57,000 mark, which is this potential liquidity area, or even go lower down to the 52,000 mark, toward the 50,000. Hopefully it doesn't breach the 50,000 mark, but we are now looking for those shorting positions on BTC USDT. There it is, traders. I hope that was very helpful for you, and that is your daily market breakdown.